Most people spend their entire lives working to make money, but these 10 books taught me how to make my money work for me. These books changed my priorities, they changed my mindset, and ultimately got me on the path to building real wealth. Let's break them down. All right, and book number 1 is Rich Dad Poor Dad. This shouldn't really be too much of a surprise for anybody that follows, finance or real estate. This was really the first book that I came across that taught me about the difference between assets and liabilities in terms of really your own personal financial statement. Just kind of develop my mindset around, okay, I'm spending all this money on a car. Is that really going to help me get towards my financial goals of being free? And the answer is no. Car isn't a liability. Other things like your own personal mortgage on your own primary residence is also a liability. Even though people say that it's an asset, it's not. Unless it's producing cash flow and bringing in money to you, it's not an asset. So that's really the first book that I came across. Highly recommend it. It talks about the difference between Robert Kiyosaki's friend's dad, who was an entrepreneur and was basically his rich dad, who taught him all about business and showed him just a lot of things that, I guess, misconceptions in the world. For instance, his rich dad didn't go to college. He just went into the business world. And then his poor dad was actually highly educated, went to college, had his PhD, and worked for the government. And he shows how the path that you would think is right of, getting more education through the system would lead to more wealth, but it actually doesn't. It's outside of this system. It's through entrepreneurship, through real estate, these non-traditional paths. That's how rich people become rich. It's not because they went to college, got a great job lined up, put money in their 401k and saved for 60 years. That's not how real wealth is built. It's built through taking these upside risks, like buying real estate, buying boring businesses. All right, book number 2 is The Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. If Rich Dad Poor Dad was the intro, this is really the map. So there's 4 quadrants here. So you have employee, self-employed, business, and investor. And basically he talks about how most people live in the employee world or the self-employed world. And this does not lead to real wealth. These two don't necessarily lead to real wealth. You want to get to the B and the I side of the quadrant. And there's a couple of different ways that you can get to that side. And he breaks it down in this book and makes it really digestible and easy to understand. In Rich Dad Poor Dad, if you're going in order, I'd read Rich Dad Poor Dad first, then go to Cash Flow Quadrant, and then go to Think and Grow Rich. That'll just give you a good, solid foundation on how to build wealth. All right, book number 3 is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This book was written in 1937, and it was after Napoleon Hill had studied the greatest people of that generation, for instance, Henry Ford, Andrew Carnegie, and a couple other people as well. And he determined there were some main factors that made them successful, and it studied really their mindset. That was the main premise of it. They had a definite purpose, a burning desire, faith, etc. Those are just some of the themes that you'll see in the book, and I just highly recommend it. It really just helps you tap into some of the wisdoms from the 1930s that are timeless. You'll see them around today. Highly recommend this book. I'm not going to do a full breakdown on number 4 because it's actually on my Kindle, so I can't really show you all the book, but it's Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And that book is similar to Think and Grow Rich. It talks about mindset, and it helps you kind of break free from your limiting factors that you have in your life or your limiting beliefs. And yeah, it's just a really great book because I think a lot of our money models, what we think about how much money we can make, is put onto us by our parents or our family. And the truth is there is no limit to how much money we can make. And so that book just helps you break down some of those limiting beliefs and really push forward. All right, now we just covered all the financial basics and getting you wired towards success. Now let's talk about breaking out of the system. Number 5 is going to be Millionaire, Fastlane by DeMarco. One of my favorite books of all time. I know it sounds cheesy, but it's actually super practical. And in this book, he talks about the slow lane, which is work for 40 years, invest 10%, chase the paycheck, and then die. That's the slow lane that most people kind of follow. Or there's the sidewalk, which is, going to be more towards living in poverty and never escaping from the sidewalk. So there's sidewalk, slow lane, and then there's what's called the fast lane, which is getting rich young, essentially. And it's building a millionaire fast lane business, one that is highly scalable and has a high magnitude or high impact on their customers. For instance, he was working as a taxi man for a long time, or working in a limo, I think was specifically what he was working in. And he moved to Arizona because he wanted to escape the environment of Chicago. And he built a online business that was basically limousine services. And he put it online, and it just started scaling like crazy. And that's how he was able to escape the rat race and build a fast lane business that built him huge wealth. So it's about getting rich young and realizing that, hey, this slow lane, that's not for me. I'm not gonna just invest in real estate for 40 years and hope that gets me financially free. I wanna be rich when I'm in my 20s or 30s. So that's that book, and we'll jump to his next one. All right, book number 6 is Unscripted by DeMarco. This is the follow-up to Millionaire Fastlane. This one will absolutely wake you up if Millionaire Fastlane didn't. It's about escaping from life's script. Now, what is life's script? It is go to school, get good grades, go to college, get good grades, get a nice job out of school, invest 10% in your 401k for 40 years, get 10 years of retirement to 15 years of retirement, live off Social Security, and then die. Now, I know that sounds morbid, but that is how life goes for most people. And when he talks about unscripting, it's about building a millionaire fast lane business, something that is highly profitable, that makes a lot of impact, that is scalable, that you don't have to trade your time for money, and being able to live the life that you want, have the freedom to do the things that you want to do, explore the world. And he talks about his life and how he was able to do that. And it's just a fantastic book about, I don't know, just escaping from, I guess, the matrix, if you had to call it anything, you know, life system, what other people expect of you, and just going your own way. So it's really good. All right, book number 7 is Buy Back Your Time by DeMarco. This book really gives you the value of your time. It taught me about how I'm doing all these low-level tasks that I really shouldn't be doing and I should be outsourcing. And because really time is our most valuable asset. It's finite, we don't get it back, and so we should be putting more value on it. And so things like going to the grocery store, or editing my own videos, stuff like that, I decided, okay, these are not things that I want to spend my time towards, because I'm worried about $100 problems when I should be worried about $1,000 problems. And it just rewires your mind towards valuing your time. Because, for instance, for me to edit a video, it takes me a lot longer than it would a professional editor that does that for a living. Or for me going to the grocery store, my grocery store is 15 minutes from me, and so I'm spending 30 minutes just driving there and back, and then I have to try to get around a busy store when I can just hire somebody, or just pay somebody to do the shopping for me and then deliver it to my door, and it's way cheaper. I spend maybe $15 to $20 each time somebody delivers something, which really isn't that much, to be honest with you, in the grand scheme of things, because you got to think about what your time is worth. I know we get paid by the hour sometimes, and people undervalue how much their time is worth, but it's worth a lot more than you might even be getting paid. And so that's something you might want to consider is, okay, I'm doing all this work, but my time is not being valued like it should. So maybe you need to find a job that you can make money beyond what you're just getting paid per hour. So if you're making $20 an hour and a task is $10 to do, and it takes you an hour to do, I would rather have somebody else do it, because you could use that time to invest in at work, and you can make $20 in that hour versus somebody else, you pay them $10. So there's those trade-offs, and hopefully that makes sense. Thinking about paying somebody $10 when you can make $20 in that hour instead of going to the grocery store. And it goes even more when you make more money. There's more things that you can outsource. So just rewires your mind towards valuing your time. All right, now we're gonna get into some of the tactical books that I recommend, and the first one of those is gonna be $100 Million Offers by Hormozi. And this book, he really talks about making an offer that people would feel stupid not to take. So it's putting a lot of value into your offers. Making a grand slam offer is one of the things that he talks about. Enhancing the offer through scarcity, urgency, and it's all about driving sales for the most part, because he started with gyms, and he started with something called gym launch, was really when he started to take off, which is helping others to launch their gyms. And he just is a whiz when it comes to advertising, marketing, and this is a good book just to get started on that path. All right, the next book after that one is going to be $100 Million Leads. This is also a book by Alex Hormozi. I don't have a physical copy because it's on my Kindle, but it is about how to drive leads. So one of those is posting content, a couple others of reaching out to people in your network when you start to build a business, and just seeing if you can generate leads through that. It also talks about Facebook ads and how to get paid traffic, organic traffic, all those things. Really good book, really tactical, gets into the weeds, so go check it out. And then last but not least is Buy Then Build. This is all about acquisition entrepreneurship, which is what I love to talk about. It is about how to really buy a boring business, how to value them, how to make good offers, and then how to build that business into something way better than it's ever been. So it's about not starting from the ground up, but building your own business, because we know that takes years and it might not even be profitable. It's about buying profitable businesses and improving on what they're doing currently to make it into something that ultimately leads to freedom for you. So highly recommend that book. If I were to recommend any of these books out of this stack, it would be that one. If you're interested in boring businesses, go read that one. All right, so those are the 10 books that really shaped my mindset around money and business, and I just hope that they help you as well. If you're interested in vending machines, go check out the free vending machine playbook that I've linked in the description. This helped me go from $0 profitable to a successful exit. So that's linked in the description. Otherwise, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.